Your kids have left your house. You are now left with an empty nest. And that is a thing to be feared. That is something so fatal that you don't know how you're going to recover from that. Or is it? No, ladies and gentlemen, let's think about this. Let's take a coffee break, sit down and think about what does empty nest means. One, it means that my kids are all grown. They are all independent and they have now their own houses, their own apartments, flats, whatever they've decided works for them. And you are left with your big house with empty rooms. And that is a fearful thought. People just don't recover from that very easily. But is it really necessary? Is it something to be feared? Is it something that you don't want to even contemplate because you are afraid of the silence, of the time that you have on your hands? No, it isn't. It is a new beginning. And I think we all need to change our mindset, how we think about this. Yes, when your kids are small, growing up, becoming teenagers, students, you still have them in your life. You still have them in your pocket. And it is something that you are used to. And I think that is our biggest problem. We are so used to that type of living that we don't really see any other way. But if my husband and I are living in an empty nest now, it was something to get used to. Um, but it's also something that I find is actually quite nice because we now have time for one another. We have time to sit and have breakfast together. We have time to sit and have a coffee break and talk about things that we never had time to do when the kids were still in the house. Because let's face it, when you have your kids and they are busy people with a lot of activities, you run from early morning to rather late at night, running around, getting them to the activities, to school, to dance classes, to cricket classes, to rugby practice, whatever they are busy doing. Have to make sure that in between you get the washing done, you get your grocery shopping done. And what are you and your husband talking about? The kids and all of their activities and what they need and what we have to get and what we have to look out for. And that is the sum total. You don't realize it, but you never have time for yourself anymore. Even though you say we have to make time, it's not really happening. But the moment they start moving out, your house gets empty, figuratively speaking and literally. Because when my kids started moving out, they take the whole room with them, all of the furniture. And you have to then start thinking, what are you going to use this room? Is it going to stay a bedroom? Is it going to become a study or a hobby crafters room or whatever you think will be a good idea? And as the last one gets ready to leave, you realize my house is empty. My time is suddenly abundantly mine. And I think that is where the fear comes in, that you're going to be forgotten, that you're not going to be a priority for them because they can now look after themselves. But then you have to realize if you have raised your kids to be independent, you have done a good job. They are now independent and they can thrive and survive. Um, and you've done that. But you don't stop being their parents. You still will look out for them. You will still help out if it's necessary. And you can still visit with them. But now my time is mine. I can decide how I want to use it. I don't have to run on someone else's schedule. And I think um, at the beginning that is a scary thought that I don't have to worry about picking up the kids from school, or I have to get up early because I have to get everyone getting up, and I mean they are on different stages. So one likes to sleep until 10 o'clock. So for me, getting them up at 5:30 is kind of a mission. Um, and now I don't have to do that. I can get up, go make coffee, climb back into the bed. It's my time now. I can decide how I use that time. Um, it's fun going to the shop at 9 o'clock in the morning because there's not a lot of people around. So you get to do your shopping without bumping into other people. And then decide on the spur of the moment, okay, let's go have a breakfast. And you can do that. And you realize, but wow, this is actually fun. It is nice to have a tea or coffee break in the middle of the morning, and you and your husband can sit down and have a conversation with one another without interruptions about stuff that is important to you, that you feel, wow, okay, now we're getting stuff out. Sit there and plan a holiday because we can now go out of season. As I was a teacher, we could only go during holidays, and you know how expensive that is. Now we can do a midweek where we go from Monday to Friday, and it's costing us a lot less. And it's nice because it's also not that busy. And it's not that I have a issue with um, small kids at the holiday resort. I am luckily not really faced by that. I know there are older people that does not like that. They don't like having those small kids early morning running around or driving on those little motorbikes that make such a noise. But that is luckily not my issue. But it is nice to go to the pool and have space. It is nice to go sit in the restaurant and have a nice lunch or dinner, and it's not crowded. But it's also nice to say, okay, you know what? Uh, let's go visit our kids overseas. And you can do that without too much planning. Yes, you have to get your visums and stuff, but it is nice to be independent again, to have that time for conversations that you never had time for before. And I love the fact that I can visit my kids. They can come and visit. Yeah, I can decide, let's have a braai. Um, and they come and visit for the whole day. We swim in the swimming pool. The grandkids are here. We have a lot of fun. We play board games or something. Um, and then they go home, and I sit down and I think, this is also nice. It was fun having a full house again, but it's actually fun just having the house back, um, and have some quiet and solitude and not feel guilty about it. Because I think that is our biggest problem. We start feeling guilty that you enjoy your empty nest. Guys, empty nest is not something to be feared. But you have to plan. You have to think about the things that you want to do when that eventually happens. And then, yes, you're going to feel sad. I miss my kids. My son, youngest son, and his fiancee, my daughter-in-law. Um, During the COVID, they had to move back because we had a huge garden and a huge house. I mean, it was empty. It was just us two, and they moved back, and I enjoyed that. It was fun to have them here. to sit and have conversations. But they were adults, so it was different. They could do their thing, and we could carry on with ours. But it was also nice to have that music in the house again, to have conversations with them about so many things. But when they moved out again, it was a moment or two where I felt, oh, I'm going to miss this. And yes, I do. But it is nice to see that they are independent again, that they don't have to worry, because for them it was also, it's not easy moving back and having to fit your mom and dad into your schedule again also. But I also realized I'm proud of them, because they are independent, they are on their way, they but they are looking out after us. My son is really quick to tell me, Mom, you didn't activate the alarm yet. Is there a problem? And I appreciate that. I love it about him. Um, so they look out for us, but also they are now on their own again, and they enjoy that, and it is nice for them. And let me be absolutely honest with you, it is also nice for us, because my husband and I got used to having our own time frame and schedule and doing things that we like to do, and not being interrupted to go pick up the kids or go take them to whatever practice they have to go to, and do the stuff that we find interesting, or that we have put off because there was never time for that we can do now. And that is what I want you to take away from this, that an empty nest is not the end of the world. And from time to time, that nest will be filled again when they come and visit. But you will also find that that empty nest is nice, because it means you can focus on one another again. You can do stuff together that you never had a chance for in the last 30, 20, or 30 years. And that makes an empty nest less of a threat and more of a blessing. And ladies and gentlemen, are you now at that stage where you are contemplating having an empty nest? Or are you just into the empty nest syndrome? Or have you also found that it's actually a blessing in disguise? So think about this. Take a coffee break. Go sit down. Talk to one another. Think about this. And then start planning for your empty nest time. Because it is, after all, something that can be totally enjoyable and is a blessing in disguise. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. And if you like what I've said, and you find that actually this is something that was valuable, please share it with someone that you know that are going through this whole situation and are maybe not finding it that easy. Like, subscribe, because there are new videos coming out soon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. See you on the next one.